For the price of a Chanel classic flap, you can get a Cartier Love bracelet and a Bulgari B01 ring. There has been a very big shift within the world of luxury fashion and jewellery away from handbags, which was always seen to be, oh, if I want to buy a luxury item, let me get a bag, and towards luxury fine jewellery. I'm going to break down why this is happening, and no, it's not just because of the price. Guys, if you are new here, my name is Cassie and I'm a self-diagnosed luxury addict. I put videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so if you like luxury fashion, then you're probably going to love it here, so head down there, subscribe, turn on the bell, become a member of our luxury addicted family. When are we going to rehab? Never. I also have a Substack in case you want written content. Wonderful. That's going to be linked below. It should come as no surprise that the luxury fashion brands are struggling, okay? More and more results come out and they are not looking good, okay? The numbers are in fact not even just staying steady, they are declining. And this is something that 99% of brands are dealing with a handful of those that are seemingly immune. Now, there's a few reasons as to why luxury brands are struggling and why jewellery brands seem to be picking up a lot of that slack. Okay, number one, over the past 5 years, there has been price increase after price increase to the point that it feels like they're never stopping. You know, during 1 year, I can't remember if it was Chanel or whatever, had 3 price increases, and this wasn't just like a little like, oh, let's just tack on 1%. Nobody's going to notice. It was 10%. You know, like these are amounts that will change whether or not somebody wants to buy the item. We always use the Chanel classic flap as an example to see like, okay, what was its price in 2020 and what is its price now? So let me change things up a bit. I want to talk about a Louis Vuitton bag. Let's talk about the multi-pochette accessoire. You remember a viral sensation. I had one. I got rid of her. I hope she's having a good time with whoever she's with. However, that bag in 2020, let's compare it in dollars because those are really the only information I could find, was $1,550. Today, should you hop on the Louis Vuitton website, you will be paying $2,760. That is 80% of a price increase over the last 5-ish years. And you know, a lot of brands will say, oh, you know, it's inflation. Oh, it's cost of materials and whatever. Whether or not that's true, I think we all know it's just trying to recoup the costs of COVID or whatever else. 80% is huge. And whilst the prices are going up of luxury bags, there is no shortage of conversation on social media about the declining quality. I went into a Chanel last week, front and centre, staring at me right in the eye, wonky flap. It's honestly a joke at this point. There's broken hardware, there's waxy feeling leather, elements of these bags that don't feel as luxurious as you would have hoped they would be for the amount that you're paying for them. So you end up feeling like you're paying more and you're getting less. On top of that, the illusion of investment bags is sort of broken, okay? Aside from a handful of moneymakers, you really aren't getting, for a lot of these bags, anywhere near the price that you paid for the bags. So that also being a little bit of a selling factor, to some people it really doesn't matter. Personally, I don't care. But for some people, this is a really big part of the purchase that they're making, and that's not even holding true now. Then you have the hamster wheel of trends. Oh my gosh, it feels like it's never ending. If it's not spring, summer, autumn, winter, cruise, pre-fall, then there are limited edition collaborations. There are something for it's a Mother's Day version, or we're relaunching this, or it's a capsule collection, and blah blah blah, or it's a special summer thing. Okay, they are seemingly non-stop to the point that it can feel ridiculous trying to keep up with it. It can also feel like the piece that you've just bought is out in a couple of months' time, if that's something that, you know, you follow or whatever. Some people don't care about trends, whatever. But if you do, it can sort of feel like, oh, great, I got the it bag, and there's another it bag now. So it feels like a constant churn of product and designs and styles, and it can feel extremely overwhelming. It also happens to be the case, some brands more than others, that a lot of the luxury fashion houses are catering towards the top 2% of spenders and really forgetting about the aspirational customer. That's not to say that they don't have items that cater towards a lot of different price ranges, but it's also to do with the customer experience, okay? It's not just the fact that, okay, I don't have to buy a $6,000 bag, I'm here for a $350 wallet, but why am I not treated well either which way, unless I'm dropping tens and tens of thousands, you know? So there are a lot of things that are broken within luxury fashion at the moment, and this is not a consistent experience. Some brands are very different and they're smaller and more niche or whatever else, right? But generally, if we're talking about the mega brands here, these are issues that are currently, or should be, dealt with. And because of these, people are then turning over to the sparkle. If we compare the issues that I've just offloaded onto you, my gosh, I have backed up like a sodding truck and I have just let that go on you, haven't I? It seems all doom and gloom. No, stick with me. If we then compare those issues that the luxury fashion industry is currently dealing with jewellery, it's kind of the absolute opposite. So first and foremost, price increases. Jewellery brands have not increased their prices anywhere near to the same extent as a lot of these fashion brands. Or if they have, and this came up in a Business of Fashion article, they've done it kind of slow and steady so that the customer doesn't really realise, okay, it's a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there, and whatever, and oh, you blink your eyes and, you know, there's been a decent little price increase. But because of the strategy that they've done it, it doesn't feel as bad as buying a bag that was $1,550 and turning around and it's $2,780. So the jewellery brands haven't felt as egregious in their price increases. It's also felt less greedy as well, to be honest with you. I feel like that's a word that comes up a lot when we talk about these big brands and price increases, especially as our eyes are even more opened up to the fact that these pieces don't cost anywhere near the amount that we're selling it for. It's all about perceived value. Ha 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 ha! This is a little phrase that we're going to keep coming back to, okay? The value of jewellery is also more ingrained in us, in society, and feels a bit more obvious, okay? Look at the materials that we're dealing with here. Gold, silver, precious metals, precious gems, semi-precious gemstones, things that you grow up knowing that this is something to be looked after, this is something to be kept in good condition, this is something to be handed down. And so you have this value for fine jewellery that is just there, and you can't sort of compare that to a leather bag. Another thing that we mentioned was trends. And jewellery moves at a much slower pace. When it comes to building a jewellery collection, okay, if you look at a brand, let's use Cartier, it's just the easiest example. Okay, you go on Cartier, you've got the Love range, you've got the Juste Inclus, you've got the Clash, you've got the Panthère. These are ranges that stay. They're ranges that have been there for years. Cartier Love Bracelet came about in the 70s. These are collections that, you know, are built upon, but it's also something that, okay, this year I'm going to get myself a ring. I'm going to get myself a Panthère ring to celebrate X thing. And next year I'm going to add the matching bracelet. It allows for this sort of like the pace of jewellery that doesn't feel as trendy because you have these very sort of classic timeless pieces that are tried and true. Like I said, you've had something back here that's been doing well since the 70s, okay? It's not going away. You feel like you can pace yourself, and it feels less overwhelming than fashion. Because sometimes, let's be honest, you've drawn out your wish list like Santa. Okay, you've got out a lovely little roll of paper, you've got a fabulous little pen that writes very smoothly, and you're like, yes, this year I want a Celine Triomphe bag. Great, okay. 3 months down the line, oh my gosh, did you just see that Fendi brought out that underwater baguette? Oh, I actually think that I want that instead now, bumped off of the list. Oh, and then by the time I come around to getting that Celine Triomphe bag, oh gosh, it's had a price increase. There's less of that in fine jewellery because there is a much slower pace in designs, release, styles. It all feels very classic and timeless, okay? Which has its pros and cons. But generally, I think that that is also a factor that lures a lot of people in. And you can see why. It feels very refreshing, the pace of that, compared to the sodding, something's coming out every microsecond when it comes to luxury fashion. It also feels like you're getting your end of a designer deal. And by that I mean, not only are you getting a luxury experience, you're getting a quality item that is going to last, okay? Let's put some scandals aside for this, okay? A lot of the times it's also emotional, and there's a customer service aspect as well that doesn't really seem to happen a lot with bags. Let's take, for example, the fact that some brands do this, some brands don't, whatever. I buy a Bottega bag, okay? Some of the Bottega bags have their lifetime certificate of craft. That means that if something happens to it, whatever, you can bring it in, they're gonna give it a little Botox, a little nip and tuck, it's gonna come back looking exactly the same as the day you bought it, fantastic. But if I buy more of a trendy piece, that doesn't happen. When it comes to luxury fine jewellery, if we talk about the big names, 9 times out of 10, you can take your item in and they will clean it for you for no charge. I know Cartier, you can bring your stuff in there, they'll clean it for you for no charge. It looks like the day you bought it. You can go there with any issues you have. Customer service tends, more than luxury fashion, to really be there when it comes to fine jewellery. And I feel like the same is to be said of the experience as well. Whether you are going in to buy the cheapest item at Cartier, this is actually what we're going to come back to, or I'm here to drop 150 grand on an iced out Panther bracelet. I don't know why I wanted to do this with it. It got me excited. You are still being whisked away. You are being sat down and spoken through, and this is the certificate of this, and this is that, and whatever else. It feels luxurious in the way that a luxury experience should feel. Even the packaging. The packaging's great, okay? You've got the box, you've got a box within a box, you've got a certificate, you've got a this, you've got a that, you've got the ribbons. All of that culminates in something that feels out of the ordinary and special. Special is what we're really, that is the core part of luxury that sets it apart from walking up somewhere on the street and grabbing a top and leaving. So that is what I think luxury fine jewellery does particularly well. Let's go back to the aspirational consumer that I touched on for luxury fashion there. Yes, when it comes to fine jewellery, you can be talking about bracelets that are 25 grand. You can be talking about earrings that cost the same amount as somebody's house, okay? But a lot of these brands also do have a wide range of product that starts at a much more reasonable price. Okay, I went on the Cartier website. The cheapest piece of jewellery on there, they do accessories, but let's talk about the jewellery, is $660, and they have like religious symbols. Okay, so there's different symbols there. That's an online exclusive. However, for something that you can get in-store and online, $810 for a bracelet that's got a tiny diamond in it, okay? And for that, you're going to get the full bells and whistles. Even the aspirational customer is treated to the same level as somebody buying something 10 times that amount. Overall, jewellery has a higher perceived value and it very much scratches that luxury itch, maybe to a more satisfying amount than luxury fashion at the moment. If you look at Richemont, they own Cartier and Van Cleef. They were up 11% last quarter. 2 brands really dominate luxury fine jewellery, and that is Cartier and Van Cleef every single time. You know me, I love smaller, more independent brands. Yes, I have, you know, Cartier pieces and all of that, but it really is, as I've, you know, grown up and everything, it's more about those independent brands that are doing something a little bit different that suits my personality a little bit more. And I hope that, you know, through social media, being able to put a spotlight on these, they can also have the knock-on effect of, yeah, people wanting to spend their money more on fine jewellery than on luxury fashion. I love handbags, obviously, okay? But I also love fine jewellery. And it's, for me, I was sort of thinking about, like, have I changed my spending habits based on this? And I'm not sure. I don't think so, actually. But I do need to be prioritising my wrist stack, I will say that. I think I've been focusing on the rings for too long. We need to start working on this. Anyway, is this a shopping shift that you've noticed personally? Is this something that you've noticed yourself scaling back a little bit from luxury fashion and instead focusing on fine jewellery? Let me know. What's your experience? How have you broken down that value for yourself? And would you rather buy a bracelet over a Chanel bag? Let me know. I'm going to leave a link to another video over here in case you haven't already seen it. Have an amazing morning, afternoon or evening wherever you are. And in the words of my father,
if you've enjoyed it, tell your friends. If you haven't, keep your mouth shut.
I'll see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye guys.